Hi guys, good morning. I'm hoping you're kind of as jazzed about all these different readings as I am. It's actually really wonderful to start each day with this kind of a vibe. Today I wanted to kind of talk to you guys about. It's funny. I opened up my Bible, and I always kind of say a prayer before I open it to say, like, look, God, what is it that you want me to read today? Like, what is it, the message? What do I need to focus on? And today, strangely enough, I opened up Psalms 18. And as I started reading through, and a couple passages really struck me. So on Psalm 18, there's a passage, it's 16 through 19. Let me read it for you guys. He set me from above, he took me, he drew me out of many waters. He delivered me from my strong enemy, from those who hated me, from those too strong for me. They confronted me in the day of my calamity, but the Lord was my support. He also brought me into a broad place. He delivered me because he delighted in me. I wanted to kind of talk about that because I think a lot of us, I know for myself, definitely I've experienced this, where we find ourselves in situations, maybe toxic relationships with people, whether friendships or relationships, things like that, and we start to give that way more power than it deserves. Also, and then on the flip side of that, we can also give a lot of power to maybe positive things. So, for example, when my late husband and I were going through, before he had passed, we were struggling to conceive. And we had spent about 3 years trying to conceive. And we'd started, unfortunately, we had a miscarriage. And then 3 years preceding that, we ended up just not being able to conceive. And it got kind of out of hand in the sense, and I didn't realize it in the midst of it, but looking back, I realized how important we made this whole concept of having a baby. We literally made the baby the most important thing suddenly in our lives. And as Christians, as believers, like, that goes against everything that we're taught. We're supposed to make God the center point of our days, our personal lives, our relationships. And we suddenly made something as beautiful and lovely as a thought of a child is like this center point. That we kind of idolize that. And so I think a lot of times we get really caught up. We make a lot of things our false God, whether, again, they are things that are very positive maybe in our lives, but also on the flip side, something that could be very negative. And I've definitely, my mother used to say that I stayed at the party too late. And what she meant by that was that I would oftentimes get myself into relationships that weren't really good for me. Like I suddenly became like a fixer, or I thought somehow I had the ability, the power to like make this person see differently and be better and have a better life and a better outlook. And I kind of took on this responsibility that I didn't need to and I shouldn't have, because really none of us have that power. So when I read this psalm today, it just kind of reminded me that we always need to come back to what the focus is. We always need to come back to the focus of being God, because God ultimately is our deliverer. He is like the supreme Father that is always there to sort of save us when we call upon him. And I think a lot of times we just get so caught up in this world where we make a lot of things either false gods or even ourselves. We give ourselves this power and this ability that I'm going to fix my situation. I'm going to save myself out of this situation, as opposed to really drawing nearer to him. And I read the whole psalm, and I kind of read it a few times because there was another section of it. It's Psalm again 18, and now that we're talking about section 31 to 34. And it says, "For who is God except the Lord? And who is a rock except for our God? It is God who arms me with strength and makes my way perfect. He makes my feet like the feet of deer and sets me on high places. He teaches my hands to make war so that my arms can bend a bow of bronze." And again, I think what's so, kind of a wonderful reminder in the psalm is really just to put our focus on God. If you're in a relationship that doesn't make you feel good, that makes you doubt yourself, that makes you always feel like as if you're not enough, it's probably not the right relationship for you. Now, does that mean that things aren't workable? It's very possible, but I've found at least that a lot of times when we subject ourselves to very toxic relationships, they are not only difficult to get out of, because I do think somehow we feel like miraculously we're going to turn it around. But I also feel like it cuts us down and it undermines us to the point where we actually start to believe the lies. And so I think it's really important sometimes for us to take a look at the relationships that we're in, again, whether they're romantic or just personal within friendships and things like that, and ask yourself, are they fueling me in the best version of myself? Are they helping me stay focused on God, or are they taking my focus away from God? Because I will say, I've been very blessed to have a relationship that I've been in now for a while, and we are so focused on God. I mean, we start our mornings with prayer together, and I have to say that it's been an amazing transformation to have a relationship that is so God-centric, and what it's done in our lives. And it's not to say that we still don't have struggles and things aren't challenging once in a while, but I think as a couple, we are staying focused on the fact that it is not about the two of us, it is about the three of us. It is about God in relationship with us as a couple. And, we, as we set out into the world on a day-to-day, we're always hoping that we can actually keep that focus on God and to always seek Him before we seek each other. So I just want to, again, leave you that with Psalm 18 today, and just be mindful of places in your life where you might be kind of cutting God out of the equation. Invite Him in, bring Him in. If you are going through something, I implore you to pray upon it. I mean, think of God as like your daddy. Your daddy wants to hear from you. And I get emotional when I say that, because I think we want our Father's love, whether it's our earthly Father or our heavenly Father. We want His love. We want His compassion, His guidance, His reassurance, His strength, His emotional armor that He provides for us. We all want that. We yearn for that. So I implore you, whatever you're going through today, if you're having a rough go at it, bring it to Him. Talk to Him like you would talk to a father. And whether you had a good relationship with your own earthly father or not, this is one relationship that will always be there, that will always be amazing for you, that will always provide for you. So that's my take on that for today. And again, if you're also someone who's maybe putting too much focus on other aspects of your life, whether it's career or money or success or some other, kind of tangible earthly thing, I would invite you to bring your attention and your focus back to God and just see where that brings you, and see the peace that it might bring you. So that is all the journey. We're all on a journey. So anyways, thank you guys so much for tuning in today. And I really just hope you guys have a good day today. And I hope you say hi to God. I think we all need to do that today, and I think He would really love that. So it was great to see you guys. Bye.